The night I lost my key, the world outside had dissolved into sheets of relentless rain. It hammered against the windows, a drumming rhythm that seemed to match the rapid beat of my heart. My apartment smelled faintly of damp wood and old paper, a mixture that should have been comforting but now felt oppressive. My keys, which should have been waiting on the little wooden table by the door, were gone. I searched my bag meticulously, every pocket, every compartment. Nothing. A cold shiver ran down my spine. It was impossible. I retraced my steps mentally, the office, the coffee shop, the crowded streets drenched in rain. I should have had them. I did have them. Yet now they were simply gone. And then I noticed it, a faint outline in the corner of the living room near the peeling wallpaper. Not a shadow, not a mark, a door. A door that had never been there before, yet fit seamlessly into the corner as if it had been waiting, invisible until this precise moment. Curiosity, that dangerous spark, flared hotter than fear. My pulse raced. I reached for the handle. A chill ran through me, and a gust of damp, cold air whispered from beyond, carrying the sense of something ancient, something alive. I stepped in, and that was when everything changed. The memory of the hidden room pressed relentlessly. Nights were restless. Shadows in my apartment seemed thicker, as if they remembered. Finally, the pull of curiosity won. I returned. The door had shifted slightly, inviting me. At the bottom, the room seemed different. Shadows flickered unnaturally, responding to my presence. A faint hum filled the air, low and resonant, vibrating through my bones. Objects cluttered the floor, books with spidery writing, old photographs of streets I had never walked, a tarnished locket that seemed to hum faintly. One photograph made me freeze. It was me, sitting in this very room, smiling, but older, knowing. My pulse quickened. I wasn't imagining things. Something about this place was alive, and it remembered. The staircase was steep, uneven, each step groaning under my weight. The walls were damp, slick with condensation, and my hands left faint streaks where I touched. The air smelled of mold, iron, and something faintly metallic, like old blood. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. Shadows seemed to stretch and twist independently. I blinked. They hadn't moved, or had they? My rational mind scrambled for explanations, but the impossible had already begun. My phone was dead. I hadn't noticed when it died, and now there were no lights, no signals, no way out but forward. At the bottom, I entered a small, windowless room. Pipes crisscrossed the walls, cold and slick. Dust floated in motes caught in a faint beam of light from a cracked window above. The room smelled of damp stone and rust. A folded piece of paper lay on the floor. I picked it up. Blank. But the moment I held it, I felt as though I held centuries of secrets. And then I saw my reflection, not in a mirror, but on the surface of a dusty metal cabinet. It was me, but the smile on its face wasn't mine, subtle and unnerving. I stumbled back. Rationality screamed exhaustion and imagination, but deep down I knew I had stumbled into something impossible, something alive and waiting. The whispers began almost imperceptibly, curling around the edges of my hearing. Not words exactly, but fragments. Names, places, moments. Some were mine, some I didn't recognize, and some felt hauntingly familiar. I strained to listen, but they slipped away when I focused. A voice, my own, yet warped, spoke from the shadows. You shouldn't be here. Fear and fascination warred inside me. My body wanted to flee. My mind demanded comprehension. A second door, smaller, recessed, pulsed faintly behind a fallen sheet of metal. I knew opening it would change everything. I gripped the handle. It was icy, almost vibrating under my touch. Light leaked from its edges, pulsing as though the door itself breathed. The air thickened. Walls seemed to lean inward. I could feel reality pressing against me, bending. I took a step, and the world twisted, not physically, but perceptually. The apartment beyond the door was familiar yet alien. Furniture and impossible arrangements, mirrors reflecting moments I hadn't lived. The walls were no longer solid, bases pressed from within them, eyes unblinking, mouths moving in silent speech. Some were mine, versions I didn't recognize. Others belonged to strangers I vaguely knew. Each face conveyed emotion, pleading, warning, sorrow. A light flickered in a corner. Compelled, I moved toward it. My steps echoed, though the room was silent. Every instinct screamed to stop. Every fiber of curiosity propelled me forward. Flashes of memory erupted, childhood mistakes, opportunities lost, moments I'd forgotten but that shaped me. A face in the wall, a younger version of me, whispered silently, "This is why you are here." Objects responded to thought, books opened, pages flipping violently, clocks ticked backward. The air trembled with choice, regret, and potential. I understood. This place reflected not just space, but time, life, and decisions. The floor beneath me rippled subtly, like water frozen in mid-wave, and I stumbled slightly. My hand passed through what should have been a solid wall, cold, damp, unnervingly pliable. I withdrew it quickly, heart hammering. Each breath seemed to stretch time unnaturally. Seconds felt like minutes felt like hours. The light bent around corners, refracted, bounced back in impossible patterns, turning the room into a fractured kaleidoscope of shadows. My own reflection multiplied endlessly across surfaces. Each version of me blinked independently, some smiling, some screaming, some silently pleading. The key in my pocket pulsed like a heartbeat, vibrating in sync with my own. I realized it wasn't just a key, it was a measure of connection between me, the hidden rooms, and every choice I had ever made. I noticed the air was alive, humming with possibility. Objects reacted to my gaze. A book fell open, pages flipping wildly. A clock ticked backwards, the hands moving impossibly fast. Mirrors reflected memories, not my current image, but moments I had buried, regrets I had tried to forget, and alternate paths I could have taken. The whispers grew louder, almost urgent, curling around my mind. Notice, remember, decide, move. The room wasn't just space, it was time, memory, consequence made tangible. I realized the doors weren't guiding me outward, they were guiding me inward. I finally saw it. The last door. Light leaked from beneath its edges like molten gold. The hum of the key intensified, vibrating through my bones. Whispers in the room swelled, a chorus of warning and encouragement. Step carefully. This is everything. This is nothing. Every instinct screamed to stop. Every rational thought urged me to turn back and forget this night. Yet the part of me that had lost the key, that had dared to touch the handle of the first hidden door, demanded I go on. I moved closer. Each step weighted with anticipation and dread. The air shimmered around me. Faces in the walls pressed closer, silent but urgent, their eyes imploring me to understand. My hands trembled as I touched the cold, metallic handle. The key pulsed violently in my palm, as if warning me and guiding me at once. I could feel every decision I had ever made, every moment I had ignored or feared, flowing into this one point. "Are you ready?" a voice whispered, not from outside, but from deep inside me. I swallowed hard. I was ready. The door swung open smoothly, almost lazily, and light poured over me. It was blinding, suffocating, almost physical. The warmth felt like sunlight, yet sharper, more precise, like it was scanning every part of me. I squinted, struggling to focus, and then I saw them. Versions of myself, frozen yet aware, scattered across the space like living statues. Some were laughing, some were weeping, some staring silently, all looking straight at me, as though they had been waiting for my arrival. I realized with a shock, the rooms, the doors, the key, they weren't external phenomena, they were internal reflections, physical manifestations of my hidden fears, regrets, memories, and choices. I moved among them, trying to reconcile their presence with my understanding of reality. One younger version of me reached out silently, mouthing, "This is your life. Notice it. Remember it." Every sound, every shadow, every face vibrated with meaning. I understood that the key hadn't unlocked the door in the usual sense. It had unlocked my perception, my life, my decisions, my hidden layers, my potential. They were all laid bare. I stepped back, leaving the final door behind me. The world snapped into something resembling normalcy. The walls of my apartment were intact. The rain outside fell in sheets, undisturbed. Yet I was irrevocably changed. The key lay on the table before me, ordinary yet impossibly heavy. Its pulse had calmed, but the memory of its vibration lingered in my veins. I could still hear the whispers, faintly, like wind through a distant corridor. I sat down, taking in the quiet. Everything seemed the same, but nothing was the same. Shadows in corners, the faint outlines of doors, hidden layers of reality, they were now visible to me, perceptible in ways I could neither explain nor ignore. The realization struck. The door, the rooms, the key, they hadn't been about access to a hidden place. They were about access to myself. Every fear, every regret, every hidden potential, every choice I had suppressed or ignored, they were all there, waiting for acknowledgement. Some doors never close. Some keys never stop turning. And sometimes losing something ordinary, like a key, leads you to something extraordinary. Understanding the depth of your own life, the hidden corridors of your mind, the unseen layers of reality. That night, I lost my key and discovered the door that changed everything. And I knew, deep down, I could return at any time. But more importantly, I understood. Even when the door was closed, the discovery remained inside me. Life would never feel ordinary again. Sunlight streamed into my apartment. The key lay on the table, ordinary yet heavy with resonance. Life continued, subtly changed. Shadows, doors, hidden layers of reality hinted at truths I now perceived. That night I lost my key. I discovered a door that shouldn't exist. And in discovering it, I discovered myself. Some doors never close. Some keys never stop turning. Sometimes ordinary moments are portals to the extraordinary.